Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
For tracks, obviously. On the lot.
He became steel resistant.
Welcome back to another live episode of Earthworks Hub, your Sunday show. This is the original Earthworks podcast for Australia, giving you all the information regarding earth moving. So everything earth moving and construction. I'm your host, Ivan Orlovic, so going live with Ivan. So it's Sunday, the 30th of November, 2025. Just a reminder that all these episodes are recorded, so if you do have to leave a bit early or you want to do the right thing and share it to someone, you can do that. These are all posted up on our members club first, so if you're on the Patreon app, you will see these first, as you do with all the other stuff that I post. Then it'll be up on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple in a while after that. So just a reminder, speaking of that, please make sure that you are sharing my show to all your friends. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow on all platforms, because Earthworks Hub is everywhere, especially on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe. And then the other thing is, if you really want to support me and you like what I do, go across and join our membership club on the Patreon app. So you can see more details about that on my website. Click on the Hub Club members section at the top of the website, and it'll lead you to it. So there you go. As usual, I've got a massive night for you guys. This is the UK special. I call it that because we've got some guys, some old mates that have been on here probably, I think it's been nearly a year since we've had them on. I've got some old mates on here, Matt Lundy from AgriDig and Chris Baker from, they're called DOTTS, but otherwise known as the Dozer Trainer. So these guys are going to be on. We'll catch up with them in a minute. Or we'll do some formalities as usual, and then we'll talk to them. So I'm finally home from my road trip. I'm doing this live from my living room. So you probably noticed there's a little bit of a different background here. We're selling our caravan. So I've taken everything out of it, put it all into the garage slash studio. And now I've got no room in there. So it's absolutely full. So I'll have to clean it all out once I get a chance, actually. And hopefully the caravan will sell very soon. So speaking of the road trip, all the videos from that are releasing very quickly. So I'm trying to smash those out every day. I'm doing at least one or two. So keep your eyes open. They're coming up on for members first, and then you'll see them on YouTube. There's a few released already, so I'll hit you up once they come up, and I'll give you some more information on that in a second. But I do want to say, in regards to the road trip, a big shout out. I want to give a big shout out to all the people that put aside some time to see me, and a massive thank you for everyone's hospitality. Everybody was really, really good, especially Alex from ADM Civil. I can't see if he's joined or not because I can't reach my phone. I've put it way over there, so I can't actually backtrack. So if I miss any comments tonight, it's because I can't backtrack. I can't reach it. But a big special thanks to Alex from ADM Civil Landscapes for letting me crash at his house in Sydney for the first part of my road trip. But I did achieve all my goals for that road trip. I met a lot of people face-to-face, guys that I usually only see online. Saw some really, really great places. Enjoyed some new experiences. I sat in and operated some machines that I've never been able to sit in before. So look out for those videos. And I networked with some new people and also made some new friends. So new long-term friends. So you guys now will be my friends for life. There you go. All right. So formalities. Let's do it. And then I'll have my guests on. I can see the Dozer Trainer is already keen to join. I can see that. Let me just do some of these formalities and then we'll jump on. So a quick shout out to our platinum sponsors / partners, we call them, which are Melbourne Tractors, Bris Vegas Machinery, Earthmoving Warehouse, and TMC Cancella, which is via Mulch Tech Australia. So a big shout out to our platinum ones. And some news. There you go. You guys are going to be the first to know this. We have a new gold partner, and it's somebody that has been on my show before. So More Global Logistics have come on as a gold partner, and you'll find them in the front section of the website under partners. And you'll also find them in the business directory under freight and logistics. So I don't know if you guys remember that. I had Gianni on a few weeks ago. and he spoke about international freight, importing, exporting, and all that sort of stuff. So these guys can help you with any type of international freight. And if you mention that you're a Hub Club member, they'll look after you. So thank you very much to More Global Logistics, who have now jumped on the Earthworks Hub train. There you go. Some big news. Also, a big shout out to all of our other sponsors. I've tried to put some of them up here on the back. Also to Mitch from Momentum Civil, who I also went out to see while I was up in Newcastle. All right, so no taste of the week. I'm not having any whiskey today. I'm actually just using my, look at this, my little Komatsu drink bottle. I'll be having water on the water now. What else? So we'll do a quick roundup of the week, and then I'll have my guests on. So I know they're keen. Podcasts, let's do a bit of a recap. So last week I came to you live from Moama, along with Jack Healy from E&BE Hire. That was actually a really, really good, fun episode. We spoke about me using a grader for the first time, which was actually that day. So we jumped on one of the graders there. We talked about MOBA, GPS systems, and then we spoke about his little steel wrist rotator and a whole bunch of other stuff. So thank you to Jack Healy for jumping on that show with me. What else? I actually bought myself a new desk. This is what I'm sitting on. I'm on a Costway electric stand-up desk. So I'm sitting down at the moment, but I got this so that I'm able to sit down or stand up, depending on how my back is. And I've been using it standing up to make some of my videos, and it's really good, really, really good. So if you're ever looking at getting one of these, this is the Costway one. So I got it through Bunnings, believe it or not. So they're actually not that expensive. I think it was like $200. So have a look into that. If you don't want to be sitting at a desk all the time, you can stand up. What else? Road trip. I've put out a whole bunch of videos, so I've started uploading some. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can keep seeing as they come up. So I've released a video with Stuart Gordon from the Excavator Edge in Brisbane, so that's out now. The one with Andrew from Sydney Rockwall Constructions, that's out. And the one with Damien Cook from Cenex, that's also out now as well. So go and check those videos out. Alex from ADM's just joined. There you go. I was just talking about you, saying a big thank you for letting me crash at your house during my trip. So thank you very much. And Jack Healy's just joined. I was just talking about you as well, man. There you go. All right. So yeah, just saying thank you to Jack for being a guest in studio last week. So Jack's saying, where are you? I'm at home. So I was just telling everyone my garage is full. So we're actually selling the caravan. I had to take everything out of it so we can take photos and post it up. So the actual studio is full of stuff out of the caravan. There used to be our little storage container. Yeah, this is the new casting lounge. That's the one. We're going to have to put the couch in here soon. It's got the brick wall now, like Joe Rogan. I've got the brick wall behind me. How's that? All right, so yeah, Damien Cook from Cenex, that video's out. And then today I released the video with James Elliott from the Red Dog Group to all the members. So that's out on the membership app. So make sure you go and join if you want to see that video instead of waiting for it to come out. All right, so I'm not going to do a listing of the week. I'm going to skip that because I really want to get my guests on. So let's have a look at this. What have we got? I've got, yeah, no other news for now. Let me invite my guests on. So I'm going to just check. I have to reach over. Oh, what's the caravan? Give it a quick plug. It's a Windsor Sun Chaser. It's a 1988 model, 16-footer. I think it's 5.5 meters. It's got 4 beds in there, so we built bunks. And what else? There's all the rest of it is original. It's all like that wood grain in it. So we bought it from an older couple, so they really took good care of it. We put a new annex on it because the old one got ripped off by the wind. New tires and a whole bunch of stuff. So I'm giving it a bit of a plug. But for a 1988 model, go check it out on my Facebook marketplace, and you'll see it there. So that is up for sale. And I'm also selling my motorbike. So if anyone's interested in a Honda VFR 800, you can have a look at that on my marketplace listing on Facebook too. I'll give that a plug. There you go. Thank you, TerraPro. Good idea. All right, let's have a look. I can see the Dozer Trainer is here, but I don't know if Matt is in yet. Hang on, let me just check here. Let me check. 1 second. 1 second. Where is he? Matt's not here. Maybe he's not. Maybe he's forgotten the time. Maybe he's forgotten the time. All right, hang on. Sorry, guys. Tommy Lee. He's saying, has the new lifting legislation for East Coast come into place yet regarding lifting with an excavator? They've started rolling it out over WA. The new lifting legislation. You know what? I think, was that Alex that I was talking to about that? We were talking about this last time, I think. Let me see. Give me 1 sec. I'll invite my guest on because I was just about to invite him, and then we can maybe even discuss that because we'll see what they do in the UK as well. Give me 1 second. Where is he? Oh, what have I done here? Oh, Tommy Lee saying a shout out to his old man, the Dozer Trainer. Here he is.
Good morning from the UK.
Good morning. Yeah, well, it's good evening from Melbourne.
yeah.
It's good to see you.
Yeah, it's good to see you too, mate. It took me a
That's
while.
it. Let me just turn this up. Tommy Lee. So your son's here. He's watching as well.
Yeah, he's watching. I've just sent him the invite. Is it Tommy who's just asked the question about the lifting ops?
Yeah. So he's saying something
Hey.
about on the West Coast, they've got some lifting regulations now. Do you have something similar in the UK?
We have a lifting ops legislation across two of the awarding bodies, but if I'm honest with you, it needs to be better than it is. It needs to be a bit more stricter than it is. The criteria of it is basically the test spec for it is, I don't think it's very good. In the standards, it states that the learner needs to be able to interpret and understand how to use an RCI. But a lot of the guys who I speak to, when they've done the lifting ops test, they don't even know what the RCI is. As opposed to your heavy warning lift device, which comes out the box on most machines. If the machine's lifting something heavy, it'll beep or it'll buzz to say that you're lifting something heavy. But the actual RCI itself, the rated capacity indicator screen, a lot of them don't even know how to use that. So it needs looking at again. Something else what needs changing.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So I forgot to actually do an introduction. I know where Matt is. Maybe he's got the times mixed up. I'm not sure.
Well, last night it took me a while to figure out the time difference, because one thing was saying you're 11 hours in front, but it was saying 10 o'clock UK time. And then I had to check again and it's saying, no, well, this one's saying it's 9 o'clock UK time. So I'm thinking, well, what is it? So I thought I'll log on at 9 o'clock. And here you are.
There you go. Oh, well, you know what? We'll make a start, and then if Matt joins, he joins. If not, then it doesn't matter. But we'll go ahead anyway. So I'll just introduce it to everyone. So we've got Chris Baker, also known as the Dozer Trainer. You do a lot more stuff probably on TikTok than on Instagram, isn't it?
I can't really nail the Instagram thing. Instagram just doesn't work for me. I don't know. I can't seem to nail it. So TikTok, I've got a Facebook group as well. I've got like over 10,000 followers on one of the Facebook groups, which I get a lot of traction from. And then obviously anything I post on that, I just share that to a lot of the UK groups here. So, but Instagram, I can't seem to nail it.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
You're also on YouTube as well. I noticed today actually.
Yeah, so we've got a YouTube channel, which again, I need to do more with. But obviously the YouTube audience is different to your TikTok audience, your Facebook audience. Your YouTube stuff's sort of like more long-winded videos, which I've started to do some of them. But it's finding the time, Ivan. It's actually finding the time to actually just get the footage throughout the day. Like my wife keeps saying to me, you should document your whole day. I'm like, who's got the time for that? I mean, I need one of them body cams strapped on, sort of like basically following me around all the time to document there. But I do need to start doing more on YouTube. I should do, really. I've got a few ideas. Obviously, the whole Dozer test spec, what we did, we put that on YouTube. We broke that down into sort of like 9 or 10 short videos, which explains how to do the UK version of the Dozer test spec. But we spent a fortune on that as well. It took a lot of time to get it edited. And the editing company, what we use, because they're not sort of like plant orientated, I had to sit down with the editors and go through a lot of the stuff. Like, no, you've got to take that out. You need to put this in there. That needs to go in there. So what should have been sort of like a smooth process turned into quite a long-winded and complicated process, because I was having to teach or educate the editors on what it is we do, sort of thing. And then from March, it was supposed to happen in December. So this year, December, it was supposed to change again. So the whole Dozer test spec is changing from the current one. That's changing. So I need to basically edit and redo the test spec again so it shows a true reflection of how it's going to be. Because we made it harder, you see. None of the a lot of the test criteria in a lot of the categories in the UK, they've not been changed for sort of like 20, 25 years. So, like I said to you before, I can't remember what we spoke about before. I think we just spoke about the company in general before, didn't we? I know Matt was on wherever Matt is, and I did a lot of the talking, even though Matt was supposed to do some talking, but it was me who was talking. So I'll pipe down if you want. You ask the
No,
questions,
it's
I'll
all
answer
good.
them.
It's all good. No, that's good. Well, yeah, it's been nearly a year. I was just looking back at some old footage, and it's been nearly a year since we last caught up. That was when the whippersnipper was going off. One of the
Yeah, the
neighbours was
whippersnipper. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
yeah,
I was on about.
whippersnipper.
I was thinking about that this morning. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how's things with you?
It's good. It's been good, man. It's been really good. It's getting bigger and bigger. Yeah. So Earthworks Hub is expanding. We're doing a lot more, like you say, long form videos nowadays on YouTube. So I'm really starting to focus on that. Doing a lot of stuff, a lot more partners now, and pushing the memberships and trying to help everybody out. So a bit of mentoring and a whole bunch of stuff, man. But no, really moving to the next level. And next year is going to be a massive year. So I've got all this stuff happening. There's going to be a big year for Earthworks Hub. So I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.
Good. Good stuff.
So for all the people, so if anyone hasn't watched one of the old episodes where you and Matt were on, do you mind just explaining briefly? So just tell everyone where you're from and what you actually do. So what do you do? The Dozer Trainer might give away a little bit, but yeah, just give everyone just a little thing in case they don't know.
Yeah, so we're based in the UK. We're a training provider. We teach civils training, so heavy plant and machinery on the civil side, and then we also do the rail side of things. So the road railers, I think you call it railroad over there, similar. So basically, the machines what sit on the tracks. So we do both sides of the business. Now in the UK, to get onto the rail, you need to have civils background. So we're like a one-stop shop, if you like. So we can train people up on civils. And then we can, which then allows them to transition over to rail. Ideally, what we want is experienced civils guys who want to transition into rail, because although the standards don't speculate like you must have a proven background, it's a little bit of a grey area. Ideally, they do need to have a proven background in civils, so earthworks, utilities, demolition, whatever like that. They need to be able to drive a machine, basically. And then we can then convert them and transition them onto the rail side of things. And it's not teaching them how to drive a machine on rail, because they should already know how to drive the machine on rail. It's more of a conversion course, because once you pick a civils machine up, put all the rail gear on it, and then put it on the rail, it becomes a completely different animal, so to speak. There's a lot more to take in. A lot of it's based around lifting as well. So we're based in the UK. That's what we do. The company's been operating on the rail side of things for 5 years since we got our own accreditation. I used to do the training for the civils before, and then I was doing the rail training assessments and stuff like that. And then, like I said before, 5 years ago, I set out to change the way the Dozer training is delivered, because I looked at the guys out on site when I was out on site, and I got chatting to them and stuff like that, and I asked them what they did for the training, in particular the Dozer. I didn't want to be sort of like a trainer who's a jack of all trades, master of none. I just wanted to focus specifically on one category, which obviously the Dozer. So 5 years ago, I set out to change the way it's delivered, trained, and tested. I sit on the working group as well for CITB. So when we review all the standards and stuff like that, there's myself, and then there's a good few other people from other awarding bodies and other training providers and stuff like that. And we put suggestions as to how we're going to get things changed, make it better, make it harder. And it was supposed to have happened in December. So it's been going on now a couple of years. It's supposed to be happening in December, but it's been pushed back now to March. So in March 26th, the new standard for the Dozer, the way the Dozer training is delivered and tested, comes out. So it took me 5 years to do it, and I said I'd make a change to it, and I think I have. Somebody, I was chatting to someone the other day actually, and they said, "Oh, Chris, Google yourself. Just Google who's the best Dozer trainer in the UK, or Chat GPT." You know what I mean? So I had a look at it anyway. I googled it and I chat GPT'd it. And you'd have to have a look at it yourself. Just do that. Like, who's the best dozer trainer in the UK? I'm not blowing my own trumpet or anything, but it was quite interesting what was said. So yeah, so 5 years ago I said I'd do it, and obviously based on the feedback I'm getting and what's out there on Google and chat GPT and stuff like that, I think I've succeeded in what I set out to do.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm just doing it right now. Here we go. Let's have a look.
Wait, are you on Google?
No, I'm on Microsoft Edge, but it actually has come up as the Dozer Trainer came up first. There you go.
That's it. Yeah. So then
The
there's a whole
Dozer Trainer UK.
yeah, there's
Yeah.
a whole write up in there and everything. It was quite interesting actually, because like I say, I didn't know about it. And somebody said, "Oh, so obviously somebody must have searched it. Somebody must have been looking for dozer training, and then they've searched like best dozer training in the UK, and that's how it sort of like come up." So yeah, I succeeded in what I set out to do 5 years ago.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's good because I know you've been doing it for a while. I think the last time we spoke, you were just about to move to a new location, or you just moved. I can't remember what it was, but the old place was really, really boggy, the old training center, and then you moved because the new one was going to be better. And I recently saw some posts of you where it was raining again. So hey, how's the new location? What's happening?
Mate. So the new location's good. I think when we last spoke last year, I'd already moved. Obviously, a lot on the site's changed since then. The ground's a lot better. I'm not sort of like digging or dealing with clay or anything like that. It's sort of like what we class as brownfields or industrial. So it does drain well. I have still got the problem though of the weather. I mean, I had to stop all civils training. Not last week, just gone the week before. I had to cancel 5 days of GPS dozer training. So I had a 3-day course on, and I had a 2-day course on. I had to knock that on there, simply because all the other training courses what I had on, every time it rained, obviously when we'd reinstated the ground, the next day when we went in, we had to strip all the snot off and then stockpile the snot. And obviously this time of year in the UK, I mean, it was minus sort of like 2 last night or whatever it is. It's cold, it's damp. All the wet gear, what we have stripped off, that's not going to dry out now until sort of like the spring. But the problem I've got is I could keep stripping it and keep stripping it, but I'm just going to go deeper and deeper and deeper into the site, and obviously the sides are coming in where I'm stockpiling the material, so I had to stop because I didn't want to jeopardize the quality of the training for everybody. Do you know what I mean? So I just took the decision to stop all civils training. I've got a little bit of spare time in December, where I can sort of like start doing a bit of reinstating. But we've got some good things in the pipeline. We've got some interesting things in the pipeline, which is sort of like a lot of collaboration work with a couple of other companies. What I want to try and do is I want to try and get away from the initial training and branch out into the more specialist stuff, sort of like GPS dozer, GPS 360. We've just had a Leica MC1 kit fitted to the R138. So the idea is we have the dozer working on the same project as the 360. They're working to the same model. We've had like a Colosseum model built, which basically takes up sort of like majority of the site where we do all the digging. But to do it, it's such a big project. It's going to be done over 3 days. It'll be 1-to-1 training. So there'll be one on the dozer, one on the digger, and then what we'll do then is we'll incorporate the ADT, so the articulate dump truck. We'll incorporate that training into it. But it's mainly focused at 360 operator, dozer operator, learning how to work with each other, just like you would on a site, working to the same model. Obviously, the ADT is there to take away the material because there's that much material what we've got to check out. But we had the kit fitted in beginning of November, I think it was, and then the weather took a turn for the worse. So there's still things on the Leica system which I need to wrap my head around. So I need to reach out to a couple of the existing operators based in the UK who sort of like know that kit inside out, for me to then to be able to roll that out. I mean, I've played about with it myself. It doesn't seem that complicated, but the interface between Leica and Topcon is a lot different, and I've just not had the time to play about with it. But it's good. And then some other things. Oh, sorry. So we've got GKD, who we work with as well, and we're going to do a bit of collaboration work with. So GKD, they're based in the UK. I think they're sort of like worldwide as well. So they do the RCI systems on the machines. They do on civils machines and they do it on the rail machines as well. So on the civils machine, you've got a 2 RCI system, and then on the rail machines you've got a 3 RCI system. Difference between them is if it's rail, it'll measure cant and gradient of the track, and obviously back stability as well. And if it's civils, it doesn't measure your cant or your gradient, just obviously your radius, your degrees, and your height. But it's got full motion cut control, so it won't allow the machine to tip as long as it's in lift mode. So if you do approach your safe workload of the machine, it'll warn you first, and then if you take it beyond that, it'll automatically it'll cut the machine up, it'll stop the operation, so you can't tip it. So we've got GKD coming in not next week, the week after, to fit the new version to the civils machine. They've just done a new 2 RCI system, which they're going to fit on our machine. We're going to trial test, put that through its paces. We're going to roll that out and get that out on the market for them and give them some good feedback on how the new system works. And then hopefully the 3 RCI system as well, we'll do the same with the rail machines with the 3 RCI system. But yes, some good things happening. Like I say, I want to get away from the initial training, concentrate and focus more on specialist stuff, GPS, lifting. And then we've got something else lined up as well. So the company called Machine Tech, who are based in the UK, and they work with a company called Rod Radar. I don't know if you've heard about Rod Radar before.
Yeah, the buckets. Is that the buckets with the thing underneath?
Basically, yeah. So it's like a ground. It's like an X-ray bucket to avoid cable strikes. So cable strikes here in the UK, which I would imagine back in Australia as well, is a big thing. So we're trying to get away from striking cables. So we're working with Rod Radar. We're going to be one of their training providers, or their training provider. We're going to roll that training out bespoke for them. Not everybody can do it. If you purchase one of these buckets, then you can't use the bucket anywhere, because there's like a sign in or a login which you've got to use. So when the bucket's been sold to the company, they then need to be trained on it, and then once they've been trained on it, then they'll get a login and a sign in so they can use that bucket. So whenever that bucket's been used, it goes to a central database. So Machine Tech know who are using it. So not everybody can use it. So that's in the pipeline as well. So we've allocated an area on our site where we're going to trial and roll that out, basically. So yeah, some good things happening.
Yeah, very, very good. So there's a lot happening. What I was going to ask you is, so a lot of our high rail machines in Australia have got the little tilt rotators on, because obviously it makes it a bit more versatile. So because you can't really leave the tracks while you're working. Do you do training on the tilt rotators? Do you offer that sort of stuff?
So we're looking into that at the minute, but I've just been quoted 30 grand for the tilt rotator system. Now, obviously, me and my wife run the business. My business partner says any financial commitment or anything like that, what I want to invest in, I've got to put it. We've both got to make the decision on it. So it is something what we're looking at. It's something what we're budgeted for. Obviously, this time of year, we've slowed down this time of year in terms of the training. But yeah, tilt rotator or steel wrist or whatever you want to call it. There's a load of different manufacturers who do it. But yeah, it is something what we're looking into, because on the rail, tilt rotator is an actual attachment where you've got to have the ticket to use it. Now, I just attended one of the road shows for NOCN or CPCS. Me and Katie attended that just the other week. Now, that is one of the categories which has been mandated where you need the ticket for it now. So there's a lot of guys out there using it without the ticket, but now it's been mandated that you're going to need the ticket for it. So it is something what we're looking at, yeah.
Wow.
30 grand, it's a lot of money. I need a decent business case for that one to get that money back.
Yeah.
I mean, but yeah, we are looking into it.
That's pounds as well. So that's right. That's pounds.
Yeah, so that's probably 60,000 bucks in it or something. It's about half in it.
Yeah, there you go. Well, Ology's asking a question. It's funny because he is the tilt rotator king. He used to be with Steel Wrist. He's asking, have you had much to do with the MIC 4.0? Is that part of a system or something? Part of a GPS thing?
Which one is that? Sorry, say that again.
MIC 4.0.
What is that? Is that a GPS or is that a lift watch?
I'm not sure. Yeah, Ology just asked that question. We'll see. Maybe he's going to clarify.
Yeah.
While he's doing that, I was just going to ask you. So, have you ever considered using simulators to train people instead of actually having the machines?
One, I'm not a fan of them. Um, Two, they're very, very expensive. You can hire them, but I'm just not a fan of them. There's a couple of companies what do use them. It's a nice to have. For somebody who's never set foot in a machine before, then yeah, stick them in a simulator, get the feel for it. This is what you're going to see. But other than that, you need the real thing. It's like there's a lot of companies sort of like rolling the GPS side of things out as well, and they're not even get stepping foot in a machine. So it's death by PowerPoint in a room. You'll have someone talking about all the different GPS systems, how it works, how you set it up, differences with the VRS and the total station and stuff like that. But then they're not even getting to go out on the machine and try it. So to learn the GPS, YouTube's an amazing tool. Like when I started driving machines, YouTube didn't exist. If YouTube had existed back then, I mean, life would have been a lot easier. So a lot of people have got sort of like YouTube at the touch of the finger sort of thing now. And a lot of people say, "Oh, just go on YouTube, go on YouTube." Yeah, you can go on YouTube and you can learn a lot from YouTube. However, you need the real thing in front of you. You need to be sat in the machine. You need to have the model. You need to have the screen. You need to have someone sat at the side of you explaining what to do. You need to be doing it to be able to learn it. So I'm not really a fan of simulators, if I'm honest with
Yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah.
But
Actually, going back to the MIC 4.0, Duology is saying it's machine integrated controls. So the ability to clip an attachment onto a machine and the machine CPU knows the attachment and adjusts its parameters to suit. He's saying, yeah, have you got that sort of stuff?
no, we haven't got that. No, that sounds very expensive, Ollie. Really
Yeah.
expensive.
There is money.
Yeah. But no, we've not
Yeah.
we've not got that one yet. Someone's put there. Some RCI companies would be Xwatch and ProLink. Yeah, so Xwatch, that's a relatively new system which is coming to the market lately. I've not used it. I've not heard anything bad about it. The guy who installed our GKD system, he was telling me about it, and he said it is a pretty decent system, very, very simple to use. ProLink again, ProLink's probably on par with the GKD version of it. Some of the rail machines what we've used have got ProLink in. Again, personally, I prefer GKD. It's just what I'm used to. It's just different interfaces. It's all expensive. All
It's all
expensive
money.
kit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A good thing that I saw you recently post is that you're also offering. So apart from people needing tickets, actually, wait one thing before I say that so you're saying people with a tilt rotator now in the UK, if they want to use one, they need to have a separate ticket to operate that.
It's coming in. It's coming in where you need the ticket. There's a couple more things out there as well, which are requiring a ticket now. It wouldn't be from what I can gather reading between the lines. I need to sort of like digest it myself first. I don't think it's going to be sort of like a theory and a practical. I think it's going to be sort of like a transferable skill what you can transfer over. Just if you can prove that you've used it before, it's going to sort of like get added onto your competency that way. But yeah, I still need to look into that one.
Yeah. All right. So just going back to what I was going to say. So I noticed that you're actually offering like experience building training. So for operators that get their ticket but then still can't get any seat time, I believe you're offering people to come in and just get like seat time and get experience, so that then you can be like a reference for them and say yes, they've done a
Yeah,
bit of time. Is that true?
yeah. So that's what. Like I said, I want to try and get away from the initial training of people because the market in the UK is saturated with it, with what we call white van mans. It's saturated, um, and what I want to do is get away from the initial training, focus specifically on the bespoke stuff like lifting, safe lifting, use of RCI, use of GPS, and then one of the other issues what we've got here in the UK is because the industry is saturated with new operators. Those new operators won't get given a chance of some of the big companies here because what they're stating is that we need experience. So to get that experience, you need to get seat time. Now, to get seat time, you need the ticket, but to get the seat time as well, you need to be given the opportunity to jump in a machine. So we have a system in place in the UK, which is basically a red card and a blue card on one particular accreditation. So you'll get a red trained operator card, which is valid for 2 years. In that 2 years, then you've got to become competent in working towards becoming a competent operator. What's happening is the industry is forcing those new operators to cut the corners with the red trained operator card. Go and find an assessor who will sign them off as competent, just so they can turn around to a plant hire company and say, "Yeah, I've got my blue competent operator card," when they're not competent. And then they'll get given a seat. The problem what they've got there is they're not competent operators, so they'll stick out like a sore thumb. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to offer those guys who can't get seat time the opportunity to, like, you've got the ticket, you've done the training, whoever you did the training with, it's nothing to do with us, or you've done the training with us, but you still can't get a seat. We've got projects in and around on our site, because where my centre is, it's not just the civil centre and the rail centre. The site's sort of like 4.5 kilometres long. There's that many things within the site, and there's that many little projects what we need to do, which is real. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to give these new operators the opportunity to come and jump in a machine. Off you go. This is what we're going to do. We're doing a muck shift today. We need to get rid of all that material. Or we're putting a platform in this. We've just redesigned a mini scale of St Pancras station on one part of the site, which needed a load of land clearing, done all the ground needed remediating, and then they've just put a little mini platform in with the stanchions, and then they've got I think it's a 30-foot panel of track, and they've recreated St Pancras train station where we are. So that was a project that we was working to as well. So we were trying to tap into that side of the industry. So these new operators who were all moaning about not being able to get a seat, I'm trying to give them the opportunity, like, listen, I've got proper project work to do. The problem is they don't want to pay for it. But the problem I've got is my machines aren't free. I've still got accreditation to pay for. I've still got insurances to pay for. The machines, the wear and tear on the machines, the fuel on the machines, you know what I mean? The accreditation fees and stuff like that. So none of it's free. But those who do come to me to do it are the ones that are serious about it. They don't mind investing in themselves. But those who don't want to do it are the ones who think, well, I've done my training. I should be able to get a seat. And they're the ones whose tickets are running out because they're not invested in themselves. So we're trying to tap into that. We're trying to educate the industry. Like, look, you've done your ticket, you've done your training. I haven't got to worry now about training you, and I haven't got to worry about testing you. The only thing that I can do with it is make you better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But some get it, some don't.
That's exactly what we need here. That's exactly what we need in Australia. I was looking down that path, and the same thing. I was going to get a machine, let people come and sit in there, and I've been recently talking about it to a lot of people. And my biggest thing is, will people actually pay? Will people that haven't got a job at the moment, so they really probably don't have much money, but want to go and get some experience so that they can go and get a job on a machine with the right experience, can they afford to come and pay to sit in the machine? That's the same thing, yeah. And a lot of them won't pay because I'll be saying, "Oh, I haven't got the money to pay for the course. I haven't got time to pay. I haven't got money to pay to come and sit in the machine because I don't have any money. You know, I'm trying to look for a job." So yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's a bit of a catch-22.
Yeah. What should happen is the companies in the UK, the major sort of like plant hire companies in the UK, some of them do it. Some of them do have sort of like invested themselves with the newly trained operators and stuff like that. The majority of them don't. But what they should do, it's not rocket science. Basically, if you've got a new operator on a job, what they should do is they should team that new operator up with an experienced operator, and that experienced operator should mentor the inexperienced operator to bring them up to some sort of standard. It won't take them long to sort of like get them to a level where they're confident and they're comfortable in doing what they're doing, and they could be sort of like left to go and do their own thing, sort of thing, and just keep rolling it around like that. Like it's not a difficult thing to do. Like myself and a lot of sort of like the other drivers in the UK we speak to, we've spoke about it loads of times. Like it's not hard. It's not hard to do. It's just they won't do it.
Yeah.
More and more people are sort of like ringing me now saying, "Chris, can't get a ticket. Can you do an assessment on me so we can get the competent operator card?" And I'm like, "You've got no experience. Like I won't sign you off as a competent operator with my name to you unless I know you're competent." And then what happens is they'll go somewhere else. They'll find a dodgy assessor who's willing to do it, and that dodgy assessor will sign them off. And then that guy then will go out on a site with his competent operator card, and he'll get run off the site at break time because he can't do it. Because the industry's not giving new operators a chance. I don't think the industry sort of like know how much myself and a few others are trying to sort of like solve this problem. We want guys to be able to get seats. The whole purpose of me training people is I want them to go out there with my name on them and sort of like it's my reputation and say like, I mean, they can do the job. Some are better than others. I mean, like we do a lot of the site ready stuff. This is another sort of like conflicting conversation within the industry as well. Like a lot of people will turn around and say you can't site ready train someone. I beg to differ. Say we had a guy who's got, I don't know, 10, 15 years 360 experience. He's worked on accumulation, demolition, utilities, pipeline work, muck shifting jobs, specialist things like that. He knows the site. He's got experience. He can drive a machine. And then he comes to me and he wants to upskill onto the dozer, for example. Right? The way I teach it is I don't stage any of the training. So, example, just in short, the slot is basically you dig a slot 1 meter deep, width for the blade 10 meters long, blah blah blah, and backfill it. Okay, it's got to be done in a certain process so you don't fail it. Right? If that operator who comes to me has got transferable skills from a 360, for example, or a telehandler or a loading shovel, and he's got site experience, I can teach him and nurture him and show him better things than other than the test spec things. We can sort of like extract, build, form, design, all the things what dozing's about, like doing the batters, benching and stuff like that, like the real sort of like stuff. I'll teach them how to do that. Obviously, I'll teach them the test spec as well. When they pass that test and they've got that dozer ticket, because they've got transferable skills from another machine, because they've got site experience, I've trained them site ready. That makes them site ready. They are site ready. They're just on a new machine. Now, if I had a brand new operator come to me who wanted dozer and he's got no transferable skills, I won't teach him. I won't train him. I won't entertain it. I'll say, you need to get some site experience on different categories first before you even entertain it. If I get a guy who comes to me who's got site experience, but the transferable skills aren't relevant to dozer, let's say articulated dump truck, for example, even though they've worked around dozers and diggers and they've watched it all happen, they've got the sort of like knowledge of how the site works, but they haven't got the ground experience or material experience. I can't train them site ready because they haven't got that prior experience. But what I can do with them is get them test spec ready, good enough to be able to pass the test, and then hopefully go out there and get a seat. But this is where the problems are arising. They're not getting past that second hurdle. They're getting the ticket, then they can't get a job, and it's a big issue at the minute in the UK. Big issue, and we're trying to resolve it, but it's just not happening.
Yeah. Well, this is exactly what you've just said is the same deal in Australia. So we have this conversation on a lot of my podcasts. I think we've actually done a full podcast on this a few weeks back. But exactly the same as you guys in the UK. Yeah, we've got everyone's going out, getting their tickets, all hopeful that they're going to go get a job somewhere. And then they go there and they've got no way of getting in. As soon as if they do, so a lot of guys do, say lie. They lie and say, yeah, I've got heaps of experience, and they come in, but then they get found out straight away and get sent off site. So it's forcing people to lie, I suppose, and take a risk, but also it's making it harder and harder to get operators. Like it's a common thing. Everyone has the same issue. So it's the same. So it seems like the UK is the same as Australia with this.
Yeah, we get it a lot as well with the guys who are coming forward to us, because anybody who comes to me for dozer training knows that I won't entertain them unless they've got prior experience, site experience, stuff like that. They don't come to me, because everybody in the industry knows that I'll make them work for it. And that's where I'm different to a lot of the other training providers. I won't just give them the ticket. I'll make them work for it. Make them work for it because they need to know how to do it right. And those that come to me are the ones who want to know how to do it right. But every now and again, we do get the odd guy or a couple of guys who do slip through the net, who basically they've lied to me about their experience. They've got a ticket, they've got a blue competent operator card with 360, and they've told me, yeah, I've got site experience, I've got machine experience, I'm a competent operator. And then they'll come to me, and then it won't take me long to think, you've got no experience. And then I'll start digging, saying, where did you get your ticket from? And they say, oh, I've got my ticket, but I can't drive it. So they've got a ticket for a 360, but they can't drive it because they found a dodgy assessor who signed them off as competent. But then that makes my job really, really hard. And it makes it really difficult for them, because they're trying to learn something which is difficult. And it's frustrating for me because they've lied to me, and I'm thinking like, you're not going to pass this, or it's going to be very, very difficult for me to get you up to some sort of standard where you can achieve this test. This is where the standards have changed. We've changed the standard. So the current standard for dozer spec in the UK, I don't know what it is in Australia. In fact, I'd be interested to know what it is in Australia. We've got to dig a slot 1 metre deep, the width of the blade, for 10 metres long. It's got to be taken down in layers. It's got to be, there's a rake of mandatories on there what you can't hit. And then it's got to be backfilled back to the original contours. And then you travel across an existing batter which is already there. So the batter's already there. So traveling across an existing batter what's already there demonstrates nothing to me because the batter's already there. And they've got 2 hours and 45 minutes to do it. And I always say to everybody, if this takes you 2 hours and 45 minutes to do it, you're shit. Right? It's not for you. It's too long to do this. You can do this in an hour and a half. If you do it right and you've got the right machine, you can do it in an hour and a half. So we changed it. We changed it to 1.5 times the width for the blade, 15 meters long, 1 meter deep. That's one part of the test. And the next part of the test is you've got to fold the sides in. So you've got to create the batters on each side of the cut. So you'll fold the side in. So you're demonstrating there that you can cut a batter in from sort of like 90 degrees from the slot. You can cut the batter in. You'll clear that out. You'll do the other side. You'll fold that batter in as well. So you've just done your two 15-meter batters where you've cut and folded them in. So you've demonstrated to me now that you can put a batter in. But you've still got to keep the tolerance of the slot. So it's still got to be 1.5 times the width of the blade, and it's still got to be 15 meters long, and it's still got to be 1 meter deep. All right, that's the second part of the test. Now, the third part of the test then is you've got to shape and form the stockpile. So anything what come out of that cut has now got to be formed and sealed. So it's one single sealed stockpile. So what you'll have is your cut. So you'll have your two opposite perpendicular mirrored batters from your cut, and then going on to your to form your stockpile. So in theory, it goes from a slot to kind of like a mini pond. All right, that's demonstrating to me that you know what you're doing on a dozer. 2 hours and 45 minutes to do that. Backfill, contour it back to a sort of like a level as such, because the ground will never go back in how it came out. It just, unless you're working with a GPS and you're working to tolerances and stuff like that, when you take that ground out and put that ground back in, it's never going to go back to exactly how it was. It'll go back something like, but not exact. So contour it, landscape it. When we look at it, it needs to be aesthetically pleasing to the eye. No big ruts in it, no massive deep. So if you can get it level, because then that's another way of demonstrating. 2 hours, 45 minutes to do that one. Now, I trialed that with one of my guys back in August, I think it was. We had one guy, 1-to-1, 8-day novice dozer course. The day before his test, I stuck it on him. I said, we're gonna do the new standard. I need to know that someone from novice who's never been in a dozer before, after being trained, can do this in 2 hours 45 minutes. And he did it in 2 hours 45 minutes on the nose. He would have done it quicker, but obviously because it was the first time he did it, I had to give him to say, right, do that like this, do this way. We need to do that way because this is what we're going to follow on to do after that. So if it weren't for me sort of like interfering, if you like, or stepping in to explain things, he would have done it a lot quicker than 2 hours 45 minutes. So I know it can be done. I've proved it. You know what I mean, I need to get the content out there on YouTube now, because a lot of people don't know what's installed, and it is harder. We've made it harder on purpose because it's too easy. You know what I mean? The current standard is too easy. There's too many people coming through and passing that test in 2 hours 45 minutes. It was just too easy. So we needed to make it harder. We need to make it more sort of like dozer orientated, so you can demonstrate proper dozing skills. So I probably upset a lot of people doing it.
Making it harder. No one wants it to be harder. Yeah, that's right.
So what's the criterion in Australia then?
In Australia, it's funny. I haven't done my ticket for a dozer, so I've only just sat in a couple of them, just seeing them have a bit of a go. Actually, I sat in the D71 not long ago. The new D71 PXI from Matsu. That was really good, man. That can basically do what you just said by itself. If you put all the GPS stuff on, it will dig it. Basically, you just go back and forward, and it does it all for you. But I don't know what the standards are. Maybe people on here can actually, maybe someone on here can do it.
What about What about the 360 test? What's the criteria for that then? What do you have to do for that?
I haven't done any of those. All I've done is the truck license, the track loader one, the skid steer one, and also the excavator one. That's it. So I haven't done any of the other tickets. So I don't know. But back then when I did it, which is 15, 16 years ago, maybe more, it was as simple as a guy comes out on site and says, "All right, lift that, put your bucket on, take your bucket off, go and move that dirt pile, put it over there, show me where your pre-start books are." It was very, very simple. Do a couple of moves, and that's it, and you get your ticket. So I know it's come a
Mm.
long way now. They've got some 3-4 day training sessions. They've got some 13-week civil construction tickets that they give out now, like a certificate 3 in civil construction and all that sort of stuff, where you can get a go on multiple machines. And I've made a video on that actually a while back. I went to a training center. So I went to
All right.
a place in Hallam, and they're called Foresight Training. So they do, like, I think it's a 13-week course. And then you also get like a little civil construction certificate at the end. So, but yeah, I don't know for the dozer and all that. I'm not sure unless somebody else on here can
Mm.
verify that.
That
But yeah.
13-week course, what you've just been on about, is that a funded course, or is that what the guys would pay for
Well,
themselves?
they've got government funding now, so you can get those courses for free now. So the government will actually pay for you to do that course. So I don't know what the criteria is, like if you have to be unemployed or have not done other training. I'm pretty sure they told me when I was there that anyone can do it. And at this stage,
Mm.
like, the government's allowing everyone to go and try. So yeah, it's not paid, but most of them are paid. You've got to actually pay. And a
Yeah.
lot of them are just like a 3 or 4 day or maybe 5 day course. And you get, like, a skid steer, excavator, and a roller or something like that, or, something like that. But a lot of them are funded now.
Yeah, we had some funding. We had access to some funding. If I'm honest with you, I think the funding, I think that is what's knocked the arse out of the industry, is the funding. Because there's that many operators out there now who've got tickets for machines, but they can't drive because they've got access to the funding. So over the last 2 years, I've noticed a massive change in the industry. As a training provider, we sort of like get to see it, and we had a slice of that funding, but we didn't go for the 100% funded courses because I didn't want to get Paul the painter, John the carpenter coming and driving dozers sort of thing, because they have no site experience, and that's what this funding was aimed at. So we went for the 70 to 90% funded course where they've got to have prior experience. So we sort of like vet everybody who we train. Then the funding ended, and since the funding ended, obviously people are ringing up saying, "Is the funding still available?" And I'm like, "No, the funding's gone. You've got to pay for it now in full." They're like, "Oh, how much is it in full?" And we'd tell them, and like, "Right, sign me up. We're paying for it." So I said to my wife, like, I can't believe the amount of people who are paying for this, who are paying for the full course themselves now, since the
Yeah.
funding's gone. It's almost like the funding was a hindrance. It's almost like it was a bad thing. You know what I mean? And now that funding's gone, people are coming through and paying for it out of their own pocket. And if they're paying for it out of their own pocket, that means they're serious. That means they want it. If it's funded, you don't want it because it's funded. And that's the
Yeah.
issue. You know
I
what I mean? And
think,
that's why the industry.
yeah, I think you've hit the nail on the head, because even when I was at one of those courses, I looked around, I spoke to a couple of people there. And I was asking him, like, what are your goals when you finish the course? And kind of like I was saying, they're just doing it for the sake of it, or
Yeah,
to be able to get their dole payments or their government money, and I don't know,
yeah.
their unemployment money and stuff. So I don't know. I think you're right. You might be right. It might actually be a hindrance because it's just
Mm.
people are just doing it for the sake of it, or it sounds like something they might be interested, but they're not sure, so they just go and do it because it's free. And
Yeah,
then, like
that's
you
it.
say, they go and turn up at a site and tell someone that, yeah, they can work, and then they get there and they're wasting their time. They've got no
That's it.
experience
Not
at all.
just not interested at all. There's other funding available as well for sort of like ex-cons or prisoners, where companies are going into the prisons and training them and stuff like that. Again, I don't have anything to do with that one. I just don't think people are serious about it. When anything's free, they're not bothered. There's a couple of other companies who we do things for as well. They send us their lads. Tommy will know this one if he's still listening. They send us their lads, and because it's paid for by the company, they're just not interested in it. And it's difficult because they're not showing an interest. Like, I'm trying to teach somebody based on 30 years of experience 30 years of regurgitating information and site experience and stuff like that, and I'm trying to sort of like pass that on to an individual who was just like yawning. It was just he can't be bothered with it because it's paid for. I don't even want to do this. Why am I driving this? I'm never going to drive this again. I'm just like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
And then
Yeah, it is difficult.
on the other side of the spectrum, you've got some poor guy that's really interested and really wants to have a go and just can't get any seat time because he's got no experience. Yeah, you're right. So you got the two spectrums, and and then this guy probably will be willing to pay to come and do a course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've been approached for sort of like the county funding as well. So basically South Yorkshire. So you've got like Sheffield, Nottingham, Leicester, Birmingham, whatever it is. Oh, sorry, not Birmingham. All the South Yorkshire region. So basically the South Yorkshire region. So if you live within South Yorkshire, you may be eligible for some funding for plant and machinery. Now we've been approached to deliver it, which we're still working on. We need to sort of like forecast some dates. But I just said to my wife, like, I'm not sure if I want to do it because it's funded, and I think it's the funding which is knocking the arse out of it. You know what I mean? Because you're getting the wrong caliber of sort of like learner coming through because it's paid for. Like you can't just fancy a chance on a dozer. Oh, I fancy driving a digger. You've never been on site before. I fancy driving one of them. I fancy driving that dozer. It's easy, pushing backwards, forwards, backwards, forwards. It's not easy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We need what I want is people who want to better themselves and be taught how to do it properly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I get a lot of feedback from sites and stuff like that. Like some of the earthworks managers and stuff like that who I've worked with in the past will say, I know when a guy turns up to drive that dozer, I know if you've trained him and I know if you've not trained him. They can tell just by the way, because of how we've taught them to do it. You know what I mean? So that's a good thing. And we,
Yeah.
like I say, we want to get involved in the specialist type stuff. Probably get involved in doing a lot more sort of like YouTube content and stuff like that. Putting it all out there so it is accessible for people to do. I don't know if you've seen the YouTube videos of the dozer test spec, but basically doing it like that.
Yeah.
A few more people have found us like that as well. I said, "How did you find us?" And they said, "I stumbled across you on YouTube. I was YouTubing how to drive a dozer, what's involved in driving dozers and stuff like that." So they found us through YouTube. So I know it works. It's just finding the time. It's finding the time to do it. You know yourself, videoing, editing, stuff like that. It's so time consuming. It's an extra job. You know
It
what I mean?
is.
And
It is.
unless you've got someone doing it for you who knows what they're doing as well, it can become very difficult.
Yeah.
But I do enjoy it. I do enjoy sort of like making content and editing and stuff like that, even though I ain't got a clue what I'm doing with it. I mean, I do it all off my phone.
Yeah. Same. Same. I do some on the computer, some on the phone. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Oh, it's funny, yeah,
It's,
because it sounds exactly like, well, it sounds like you guys have got the same problem in the UK as Australia. So, yeah, getting skilled operators and that, it's just becoming a lot harder. And also, yeah, just not them not having the opportunity to go on. And often we blame, like, the paperwork and all the red tape that prevents people from coming on site and actually watching and having a go. So I think the only way we always tell people in Australia to get experience is go and be a labourer on a civil site somewhere, and just keep watching people until you get a chance to get in and have a seat on their machine during lunch breaks or after hours, and then build yourself up like that. That's probably the only way people can really do it now. Or
but you
run the
can't do
company
that
and
because
get their own machine.
yeah, you can't do that though because I've got the ticket. So
Yeah.
starting off as a labourer and then jumping on someone's machine on their break, you're not allowed to do it because you haven't got the ticket. This is
Yeah.
what's stopping people from doing it. You know what I mean?
Oh,
But
in this.
go on.
Yeah, sorry, I was gonna say, in Australia, you can get your ticket. In Australia, you don't actually have to have any experience. You can just go in and get your ticket. So a lot of guys will go into those government-funded ones, government-funded courses, get their ticket, and then they could go and be a labourer, I suppose. Yeah, because you can just pay and go get your ticket, and you don't have to show any prior experience. It's just go and get it and do the 3-day course, and that's it. So yeah, a lot of the people here haven't got any seat time at all when they go in and do the course.
I would absolutely love to pick my business up and take it somewhere else. Like obviously, I'm just going to change seats because the sun's glaring in my eyes there. Yeah, so as I was saying, I would love to pick the business up and take the business somewhere else and sort of like do what I'm doing, say that in Australia or something. So my lad Tommy, he sent me a couple of links and stuff like that because obviously he's out there working. I've said like, how's the training delivered over there? How do you get your ticket for this? What's the crack? Is there a lot of dodgy things going off in Australia just like there is in the UK? And he's like, Dad, yeah. He says you won't believe it. He says, and sometimes I think in some senses I think it's worse. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he sent me a couple of links to a couple of training providers out there. I mean, they look like they're doing it all right and stuff like that. But I would absolutely love to pick the business up and take it somewhere else. Like, I really,
Yeah.
really would. Away from the UK because we don't get the weather. You know what I mean? Arguably, we probably get, I don't know, 6 to 7 months out of the year, and probably 3 of them is decent weather. But the decent weather's on off on off on off. The rest is manageable. And then before you know it, the weather's taking a turn. It starts to rain. It don't stop raining. The temperature's too cold. You can't do anything with the ground, and it's just you've got to shut shop basically
Yeah.
until the spring comes in. And then when the spring comes in, hope for some dry weather, hope for some sun, hope for a little bit of wind. Going on my days off, start remediating the ground, start windowing it, pulling it out, aerating it, putting it back, turning it. It's just ongoing. It's an ongoing process, and it's one of the most difficult things in the UK is especially doing what I do is battling with the weather all the time.
Yeah. Sounds a little bit like Melbourne. However, it seems to be the case everywhere now. Even in Queensland, there's a lot of rain nowadays. But what I'm
Really?
realizing as we're talking, I think what I've realized is there's actually 2 types of training providers, and you're probably in the first group where they actually genuinely want to train people so that they know how to actually use and operate machines and understand how it affects other parts. Or like digging one way and how to go in and getting a process and all that. Then you got your other training companies, which seem to be a lot of the government funded ones, where they probably don't really care that much. They're just happy to just rotate people through and get their government funding and just get the numbers and the quantity through. Because I've approached a couple of training companies and sort of tried to get them on as partners or sponsors and promote for them, and they're like, no, I'm not really that keen. Now I sort of understand why, because they don't really care about promoting to our audience. They just want to keep getting the government funding, and I shouldn't be saying this in case it isn't like that, but this is what I feel like. They're just, I might be getting a few phone calls tomorrow, but yeah, what I mean is that they're probably just getting the numbers through. They don't care as long as they get the numbers through. It doesn't matter if they're really really interested in it or if they're just doing it to get their dollars, we call it here, or their government money.
That's it. Yeah.
The training company's happy because they're just getting the numbers through and they're still getting paid. So
Mm.
yeah, there's those 2 types, you know what I mean? And it's yeah, I think you're right. It's a hindrance because they're just producing people with tickets, but no real care factor about the earthworks industry. You know what I mean? They just want to
Yeah.
come, and then they probably get a ticket and go, oh well, I hope they get paid well. I might just go and try and see what happens. But they don't really care
Yeah.
that much.
Well, that's
Yeah.
it. That's exactly what it is, and that's why I think he's ruined it because there's too many operators out there who've gone through these funded schemes and obtained this ticket, a ticket where they're never going to be able to use again. Like statistically, the numbers are just massive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're never going to get a seat. And the amount of funding, I think, from what I've heard, I think sort of like some training providers get like £6,000 per man for the funding. Now, it doesn't cost £6,000 to train them by no means. You know what I mean, but
Yeah.
then what's supposed to happen out of that, depending on what funding they've gone for, is they're supposed to be able to offer them a job at the end of it, which again, categorically, is not happening.
Yeah.
So they're training them, they're getting the funding, they're training them, they're supposed to get a job at the end of it, they're not getting a job at the end of it. So then that so that learner then becomes another statistic in an already saturated market. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Last time we spoke last year, you were saying that the industry over there sort of like has took a nosedive with construction and stuff like that. But when I speak to my lad, he's over in Perth, he says it's booming. Like the construction industry in Perth,
On that side,
absolutely booming.
yes, yeah, there is
Yeah.
still okay, but yeah, down here on the east coast, and that, yeah, it's very, very, very tough. And down south here in the east, yeah, very, very tough. Yeah, it's still very tough. Melbourne is quiet, very, very quiet. So a lot of guys are going interstate and scattering. So and it depends what field you're in and what you do and stuff, but and what size machines and what you have. But yeah, it's very, very quiet. So I don't know. We'll see what happens here. But there is still a lot of people looking for operators, and the common topic is they just can't get the right experienced ones. And some of the guys are writing here that 100% what I was saying before. A lot of training companies are just doing the training just to get the numbers. They don't care whether people really want to work in the field or not. But what do you do? What do we do? What's the answer? I suppose, like you said, if we can offer training to people that genuinely are interested and happy to pay for it, and even though it's not going to be, like a certified training, and they get something at the end, they can just get the experience. That would be good. But getting people to pay for that is going to be tough, because they'll be like, oh, what do I get apart from experience? Oh, it's hard to say.
That's it. It's almost like you want to run it like an apprenticeship sort of thing. You know what I mean?
That's what we need.
Yeah, like reach out to. I mean, a lot of the companies out there know what we do anyway, and a lot of the companies do send people to us. You know what I mean? They'll say, "Go and see Chris. He'll get you some experience," sort of thing. But it's not free, and people expect it for nothing. And the only way of enticing them in to do it is to make the cost of it super cheap. And to make it super cheap, I'd have to flood the course or flood the experience with sort of like 4 or 5 operators at a really, really discounted price, so it's making it cheaper for them. But then you're jeopardizing the quality of the training, because you've got 4 or 5 operators sharing the experience. We call it an experience.
Yes.
I mean,
yeah.
And it's where do you go with it?
Unless the government funded training gets improved and they actually have to go for a longer period, you know what I mean? And it's not just 1 day a week or whatever they have sometimes. Like, it has to actually be like a fair bit of seat time, you know what I mean? And proven seat time. I think that's the only other way. But I don't know. It's up to the government to monitor that and change the system. Yeah, I don't know. It'd be interesting though. Very, very interesting topic.
Yeah. One of the other issues as well, what we've got is just going back to that inexperience, the colour of your card. The colour of the card doesn't matter. It's like I put an analogy out there a bit back. I've been driving machines for 30 years. I've never needed a ticket. I've got my own machines. I use my own machines on my own land, doing my own projects. And then all of a sudden, you know what? I fancy jumping on one of these big contracts in the UK. Right? I want to go on a Dozer. I've got 30 years experience, man. So I'll go and get the ticket. I'll go and find a tester. I'll do the poxy test. I'll get my ticket. I automatically get issued with a red trained operator card, which is valid for 2 years. Right? I'll phone said plant hire company up. I'm after a job on a Dozer. I've seen you advertising this Dozer job. Yeah, I've got a red card. Oh no, we need experience. I've got 30 years experience. I've just done my ticket. No, we need a blue competent operator card. You need to have a blue competent operator card. Hold on. You're not listening. I've got 30 years experience. I've never needed a ticket. No, you need the blue competent operator card. So this is where the issues are. Or a guy who's not got 30 years experience, but he's got near enough 2 years experience operating a Dozer because he's done it the correct way. He's got his 2-year card, which is supposed to allow him to gain that experience on different jobs within that two-year time frame. He's got good references. His training provider, moi, it came from me. I can provide him a good reference. Every single job what they've been on, they've never been kicked off. They'll phone up for a job. No, you need to be a competent operator. I can provide references. I can provide sort of like, I can tell you who I did my training with. I can tell you what sort of jobs I've done. No, you need a blue competent operator card. This is, I call them the jalopies sat on the higher desks. The jalopy sat on the higher desk is just basically, it's just been programmed into saying, no, you need to be a blue competent operator card. You know what I mean? And then like if they was ringing me up, "Hi mate, what's your experience?" and tell me, like, right, sound, yeah, you okay? I don't care what colour your card is. You sound like you fit the bill. We'll give you a chance. That's how it should be, but it's not happening.
It's the red tape I always talk about. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah. And the systems that they've put in place. It was the old you saying, I've never worked on site, but I'm number one operator. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah,
that's it.
You do get those. But no, it is, and looks like it's going to be an ongoing issue until we come up with a better solution. But like you say, apprenticeships, and I've said this in the past. I've even offered to put operators on for cheaper rates. So while my less skilled operator is on the machine, I'm willing to drop the hourly rate a little bit. And companies are like, no, we can't. We still can't have someone on because we need the job done. We need someone experienced, or we'll get someone else if we can't. If it can't be you or someone more experienced, So yeah, it's hard. No one wants to give anyone to go. It's all become very money oriented, production, getting figures, so that no one really has that time to train anyone or even give someone a go to learn. So it is just a big issue. So
Yeah.
don't know.
Mm.
Maybe the government needs to look at that, like actually funding a bit of seek time training, like what you're offering. People to come in, and maybe the government should be doing that as part of the government funding, saying, you know what, we're going to allow you to get 50 hours of seat time or more, whatever, 100 hours,
Mm.
and then you can have that sort of allocated. Like when people get their learner's test for their car here, they've got to do 120 hours recorded on an app.
Yeah.
It records when they drive, and then only after they've done those hours, then they're allowed to go for their learner's test. Maybe the same thing needs to happen with machines. You've got to prove you've done 120 hours, and whether or not the government can fund that or something like that, then people can go and show that experience to say, look, I've got 100 hours experience. I don't know, maybe that's maybe that. And then they have
Possibly.
maybe tasks, things on there saying, if it's excavator, you can dig a trench or a slot, you can do the drilling, you can do whatever. So every time they achieve something, they unlock a new section. There you go. It could be something that happens. But yeah, if they have to pay for it, people have to pay for it themselves. One, it'll be very expensive, I think. And then
Yeah.
two, it's a long time. So to get 100 hours, if you're not making money in that time, that's a lot of hours where you could be out working doing something. So people aren't going
Yeah.
to have 100 hours spare just sitting there, unless they can do it, on their own free time after work at other hours. I don't know.
Yeah,
Who knows?
it's a difficult. It is a very difficult one. It's a challenging one as well. But
Yeah,
I don't know what the answer is. I mean, all we can do is sort of like keep offering the service out there. Like, look, if you're struggling to get a seat, I can give you an opportunity to gain experience. But like you say, it's not free. You know
yeah,
what I mean,
yeah. That's it.
unfortunately.
Yeah,
But I'd love for there to be some funding for that because
yeah.
I'd be all
Maybe
over that one. Right.
that's what they probably need. Yeah, like some funding to give people, so many hours of seat time, and then that way they're getting the proper training, and they've got something to show. Yeah.
Oh.
All right, cool. Well, you know what? We've gone a little bit over, so I don't know what's happened to Matt. Well, Matt will have to come on another night, but I appreciate you coming on, Chris. It's been a really, really good chat.
Yeah, thanks for the
And
invite.
your business is cool for anyone that wants to look up a little bit more. So apart from the Dozer Trainer, what does the DOTS stand for?
So
Doctore?
the business is so it's DOTS, DOTTS, or Doctore On Track Training Services, but everybody just knows us as DOTS. But yeah,
Yeah.
so and then obviously we rebranded. I rebranded my side of the business to the Dozer Trainer. We completely rebranded that. So we've got a website, the Dozer Trainer, TikTok, the Dozer Trainer, Facebook, the Dozer Trainer, Insta, the Dozer Trainer. But the website, what we've just had done as well. If you go onto the website, we've got the experiences on there. So we've got the site ready stuff. You know what I mean, and then we've got the different different value, sorry, different course durations for different machine categories. So we've got the GPS for the Dozer, we've got the GPS for the 360. So anybody in the UK who does want to sort of like, if they've got the ticket and they want to get the experience, like what we've just been speaking about, go onto that website and just have a look through there and make an inquiry through there. Obviously, this time of year, I mean, the sun's out today. Can you believe it? But it's like 3 degrees.
That's
But
Melbourne.
no, yeah, I
That's Melbourne.
appreciate the invite. Always a pleasure to come on and chat to yourselves, and I'm glad you're doing good as well. You know what I mean? And we'll stay in touch, and I'll be back on again soon.
That's it, man. Yeah, always glad to have you on, man. Good to have people from the other side of the world telling us how it is. And it's interesting to see that we're all very similar. And I keep saying this, we're all in the same boat. Like everyone has the same similar issues. So yeah, all around the world seems to be the same thing. But no, good to have you on. And definitely gonna have you back on soon, mate. So if anyone wants to go check out the Dozer Trainer.
Just the Dozer Trainer, that's it. Just search the Dozer Trainer. Yeah.
That's it, man. That's it. Tommy Lee, your son's rubbing it in. He's in WA, so he's saying it's 38 tomorrow.
Yeah, it would be. He keeps winding me up. Do you know something? We was gonna come out. We was gonna try and get over there for Christmas. I've never been. I've always wanted to go. Obviously, my son's over there banging on about how amazing it all is and stuff like that. I've not seen him for like a year now. But obviously we FaceTime each other near enough every day or every other day. But we was going to come out for Christmas, but oh God, the flights were going to cost an absolute fortune, and then it was a little bit complicated in terms of the visiting visa and stuff like that. And then I just thought, oh, do you know what? We bought a motorhome. The motorhome, we bought that to take to Spain. So I just said to my wife, I says, if we go to Australia, I says, we're not going to take the motorhome to Spain. I said, and the reason why we bought the motorhome is to take it to Spain. So we weighed everything up and we just decided to knock it on the head, and we're going to Spain. 18th of December, we're travelling over. We're going to do the drive over to Spain in the motorhome.
Nice.
So
Nice.
it should be good. So hopefully it won't be as hot as Australia, but it'll be definitely better than here.
Yeah, that's it. Good. Enjoy your trip. That's what it's about, man. You got a bit of your own time as well. Yeah, that's it. That's it. No,
So,
good. Enjoy it, and then maybe next time, yeah, if you do pop into Australia, especially if you come down to Melbourne, yeah, hit me up, and then we'll catch up. Definitely.
yeah, I'm not sure if my son was on about going over travelling down to Melbourne over Christmas. If you're still on, mate, go and see Ivan down at Earthworks Hub.
Yeah, definitely, man.
You are
We'll have
down
a
that
beer.
way.
No problem, man.
Yeah.
No problem. Be good.
Yeah.
All right, no worries,
So-
man. I'll let you log off. So if you log off, I'll just finish up after that, and then that's
Yeah.
it, man. Thank you very much. Have a good one. We'll
Right.
talk.
Nice one, Ivan. Speak to you soon. Cheers.
See you, man. Bye bye. Whew. All right, there we go. So that was Chris Baker, the Dozer Trainer from the UK. Thank you very much to Chris for jumping on. It's been over a year. I was actually just double checking that while we were chatting. Yeah, it's been over a year since we had our last chat. So good to catch up. And also interesting to see that they have the same issues in the UK as Australians. So training operators, getting skilled operators, it's an issue. So they've got the same problems that we have. So there you go. It just goes to show that we're not the only ones, and there needs to be a better fix. So maybe those ideas I came up with, maybe I should look into those. Anyway, all right. So I'm going to end it now. So thank you very much for joining me. Make sure that you do go and check out all the other podcasts and live shows on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, and then also go to YouTube for all the other videos. So I have a lot of videos there, especially from my road trip recently. So a lot of those are going up. Also, you can follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn. What else is there? I don't even know. There's so many. You can join our. Don't forget, the main thing is become a member. So you can use the membership app Patreon to join. So become a member, and there's plenty of discounts for members. Plenty of good reasons to become a Earthworks Hub Club member. Go to the website, click on Hub Club member at the top, and you can always join. And don't forget, when you do join, not only are you supporting me, so you're giving me financial support, you're also getting chat groups so you can talk to other people in the field. We've got over 90 members now, so go and join and you can all talk to each other, and you get priority access to all the videos and that too. So there's going to be some more things happening. So more reasons to join in the new year. There's going to be massive things happening. So I can't say much right now, but there will be more coming out as we go. So Dozer Trainer just wrote, been a pleasure. Keep up the amazing work, Ivan. There you go. Thank you. Yeah, there you go. Okay, guys, I will leave you to it. Have a good week, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, everyone.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
For tracks, obviously. On the lot.
he became steel resistant.